Thank you for joining us, all you Gen V fans. The crew is on the run after escaping Vought, Endolkin, and Marie's shocking resurrection of her sister Annabeth. Get ready for the biggest lore drop yet as the gang meets former Vought CEO Stan Edgar, who finally starts cooking lessons and reveals the truth about Project Odessa. We break down everything you've missed, starting with today's title, Cooking Lessons. Oh yeah, what you got?
All right, so here we are, cooking lessons. As you mentioned in our wonderful intro, the kids who are not all right are there with former Vought CEO, and they are getting some lessons from Stan Edgar. Um, he is, oh my God, I enjoy watching him. He's exciting, but also like bland when it comes to them straight. Well, I shouldn't say bland, but just literally just straightforward, as if he is a high functioning autistic, no real emotion there, just straight to the point. He is full out cooking. Hey, do you want eggs with this? By the way, your life's over. Here's this. So they pick up some valuable tidbits from Stan Edgar in this episode. So cooking lesson.
All right, so speaking of Stan Edgar, Chad, who is Stan Edgar and what is his plan for Marie Moreau?
So Stan Edgar, if you've been following the boys and Gen V, Stan Edgar was the former CEO of Vought through. I think he was the CEO through the first 3 seasons of the boys. He's the one that was controlling Homelander and setting all these things in motion. Um, but he got overthrew by Homelander and Sister Sledge. I think in the last season or one before that. So he's been on the run since he's been overthrown because, of course, Homelander wants to kill him, and he has taken with him his quote unquote granddaughter, the daughter of
Victoria Newman.
Victoria Newman, and they went on the run at the end of last season of The Boys. So this is the first time we've seen them since those two have gone together and gone off into hiding. As for what he wants from Marie Moreau, well, he kind of tells us a bit in this episode, so I'll let us get into that. But the thing with Stan Edgar is, can you trust everything he says?
Oh yeah, who is Stan Edgar and what does he want from Marie Moreau?
Stan Edgar is literally self, definitely just all about self, and what he can gain. I would not trust him as far as I could throw him. Now, let me be very clear, this actor at this age, still very attractive, very enticing. So, you know, beautiful face, just beautiful demeanor, but oh my goodness, he is not to be trusted, not by far. I don't think anything outside of what it is that he stands to gain can be trusted at all, not one little bit. And he threw that girl in there, that girl being his granddaughter, for good measure, to try to basically get the GMVers to kind of trust him a little bit because she kind of saved them or what have you. But no, he is all about self. 100%.
Barrowman, thank you for joining us. First question was, who is Stan Edgar and what does he want with Marie Moreau?
Ooh, he's grimy.
So right.
He's so grimy. You
You
can't.
from New Orleans.
I need to tell you something.
Not in real life, but I'm just saying.
You know I be having my fits. I think that he is trying to win against Homelander, and he'll do it by any means necessary. And it has absolutely nothing to do with what she can and can't do. But it's definitely about him.
Okay. All right. So he does he does drop a hint. He talks about Project Odessa. So what is Project Odessa? And how does Marie Moreau connect to Homelander?
So, from my understanding, now mind you, I only watched the episode once, but we've been talking about Odessa over a couple of the episodes. So Odessa is a project that did not originate with Marie Moreau. It came out in the 80s, and so they kind of make jokes about it in this episode. They being Jordan, literally they, they them, make jokes about it. Basically, brother, cousin, Homelander, or what have you, just to try to make a soup of all soups. And so when they created Marie or whatever, this wasn't the first time. As far as we know, it started with Homelander. So just trying to make an ultimate superhero or what have you, that started with Homelander, that basically they could control or whatever and use for whatever reason they come up or came up with at the time. So that was Project Odessa.
Bear of Men.
They are thriving experiment, and they're the only two who survived them. So I don't think that they're just alike, but I think that something about their strength must be similar. Like the way that their bodies were able to adapt to whatever was going on with the experimentation. And we see that there's like, it seems to be less limits to her power than she thinks. And we know how powerful Homelander is.
And psychotic.
Yeah, so I don't think that they're probably made from the same exact thing. Like, not the same, like, what is it, like
because they did some like conditioning type stuff with Homelander though versus Marie, like growing up with a family. So like I hear what you're saying, and I'm
you need not to do that again.
right let the next one be around people and have a real upbringing, as opposed to what they did with Homelander, and he was like a true lab rat.
Exactly.
So Chad, how does Marie Moreau connect to Homelander specifically?
So the project that Godolkin was working on, we still don't know exactly what they were trying to do, but it seems like, and I didn't quite understand the specifics of it, because as we know, like a lot of these kids, they got the V while they were in the womb, but it seems like with whatever they were doing for Marie and Homelander, I think he explicitly said in vitro. So I don't know how that, some way they were able to do it. They're getting their V in a different way in the conception process, I guess, than these kids that I guess were already in the room that got the injections or whatnot. But somehow in that process, it doesn't take for everybody. That's why there's only these two. It's Homelander and Marie. And we still haven't learned everything. Something's got to be similar in there, and I'm thinking about the end of the last season when Homelander actually shows up in Gen V. Homelander shoots Marie point blank with his, laser eyes. There's been nobody else that has survived being shot by Homelander. She's the only one, and I'm assuming that has something to do with them being tied together. So something about their birthing process is different than the rest of these people that got V, and it makes them stronger in certain ways, even though their powers are different. But I guess they are sort of linked.
So in this particular episode, what happens is, at least based on my memory, he meaning Stan Edgar basically says that Homelander and Marie Moreau are like God level or God tier soups. And basically what they want to do is they want to be able to control all the other soups. So by having them, by birthing them, by creating them, these soups are going to be able to control all the other soups. So let's go with Chad. Is Thomas Godolkin still alive in the hyperbaric chamber?
That is what they're leading us to believe. I do think that is him. The question, but when it's described in the episode, they're saying, Godolkin's in this hyperbaric chamber, and whatever he wants Marie for is for his I would guess for his like rebirth or whatever. I still think that Godolkin is using Cipher as his little meat puppet, but they haven't got that far yet. So I do think it's him in the tank. But the question is he just in the tank, or is he actually the person manipulating all this and nobody else knows that?
Hell yeah.
It's very creepy. But I've been enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie. I 100% believe that this is Godolkin at this point. And so I'm with Chad. I do believe he's the one that's the puppet master. I genuinely believe that. And so I'm just kind of interested to see how that's gonna play out. To the point where when Edgar comes upon the information from Marie and the other Gen Vers, like, hey, this is what our theory is. And they mentioned the quote unquote father that they think Cipher has, and it changes everything. He just immediately goes into grabbing his research and everything kind of flips. I'm like, oh my goodness. So here we go. The Godolkin is highly dangerous or whatever. And so that more solidifies like, okay, Edgar is 100% about himself. And he is not worried about y'all, and it's to not be trusted. Not even a little bit.
Bearer of men.
Yes, I think that it is Godolkin in the tank, but I don't know why I want the other guy who's hitting him to be his son. I just it's his son. You know?
You are my daddy.
Stand you. I can't stand you. And I think maybe, you know, although he was in that tank like that, like I'm trying to figure out like when he was conceived, because clearly I don't think you got blown up and went straight to the tank. I don't. I think you got hurt, but I don't think you went straight to the tank. I think that you probably lived a little bit and did, you know, and might have procreated at some point. And with that explosion and everything that happened to him, clearly he must have became a supe as well. And maybe he himself passed that on to his son. But his son is in pain. I think that it's less about Godolkin wanting her and more about Gold wanting her, because he's the one in pain all the time.
When you say Godolkin wanting her, do you mean Cipher?
Cipher. Well, Gold. Cipher wanted her. And remember, they said that he's in pain all the time. It seems like he's the one that needed healing.
Right. Okay. All right.
If she can bring somebody back to life doesn't mean she can make their pain go away. Or could she? And then she can't make Godolkin younger. He old as shit. What's the point in that? So I don't know.
So in this particular episode, Cipher basically says that he wants to cull the herd and eliminate 75% of God use students. So, Bearer of Men, what is Cipher's sinister goal? Like, what's the end game for him? Your thoughts, just your thoughts.
The end game for Godolkin?
For Cipher.
For Cipher? I think he wants to use her as a puppet. But I don't think that he can. I don't think he can control her like he can control others. Because I think he'd have done it already.
Okay. Chad?
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. I don't really know what the hell he wants, because what he's saying is that he wants to cull so many supes out. The only thing I can think of is by culling them is eliminating everybody except for like the upper echelon, like you're like right below Homelanders, and I guess by having that few but that powerful, it's enough for him to take over whatever he wants to take over. I would assume that you want more numbers, but if the only way this makes sense is if that number is so powerful. Everybody's just like, we're just not gonna mess with them, and we're gonna give them whatever we want, I guess. But I don't understand if like some sort of domination is like the goal, why whittle your numbers down no matter what? So that's the part I can't square that part yet because we just don't know enough yet.
Oh yeah.
So for me, with Cipher, all numbers aren't good numbers. And so with him wanting to cull the herd, like, okay, you have quite a range of soups with all kinds of powers. And some, now the way that they've weaved it in, you are able to work together as a team to make every power useful, right? And so I understand that. But on the other end, with him, he wants like the God type powers, the resurrection powers, the heavy hitters, to where, those powers like, okay, you can change the length of your pube hairs. I don't need that. That's not that's not something I really want to trifle with. Whatever. I want those Homelander, Marie Moreau type powers for nomination, those who can ultimately come together and take over Homelander or, sit him down. And so that's the way that I see it, culling the herd. Let's go ahead, the survival of the fittest, weed out those that are weak. And I'm going to give me those that are strong. And let's have dominion over everyone else. If we have those, people like Marie that have the power resurrection, people with the laser eyes and all these other things that can pretty much dominate everybody else. And so, for me, the only thing that I can say is literally his whole end game is to overthrow Homelander by getting the ones that are the most strong, is that I can see so far.
So this is my question: how by training Marie, how will Marie and her powers defeat Homelander? Does anyone have any thoughts on that? Let's go to Chad first.
If she is, I mean, not impervious, but if she can take the brunt of a Homelander attack and not be killed, that's already like a strike in her favor over most people. How does she actually hurt Homelander? I would think that if he can't hurt her as much with his powers, I would imagine that she can't hurt him as much either. So I don't know how you incapacitate him with any of the stuff she does. Maybe she can like freeze his like.
She can blow his brain up.
Well, okay, so he shoots her and she don't die. I'm assuming that she can't just pop his head off the top of it, like pop his head when she wants. But maybe she can like freeze him like she did Jordan and he can't move, and then you have other people do some stuff to him. That's kind of my best guess. But I'm just going off the assumption that, if I can't hurt you, you can't hurt me. So we kind of just at this stalemate. So, but nobody else can hurt him. So you're still kind of screwed. And so there's got to be something else that they know that she can do that we don't know yet.
Hell yeah.
So it's Homelander, right? But I do feel like Marie is a formidable foe, right? And so if you can get the buy-in from her or whatever and train her up, she is definitely going to give Homelander a run for his money, especially seeing as though how they're both part of Project Odessa. There is not anyone else that he really could handpick to even go or even think to go up against Homelander to this point. And then Marie is impressionable. He can get in her head. He can try to basically sway her one way or another. Then he was there at her birth. So there's a lot of different things at play to why it would be Marie as opposed to anyone else. Now, at this point, on the other side of her being impressionable, she hasn't really, to me, she hasn't really picked a side. I'll say that. Marie, at this point, her biggest end game is about her sister and saving her sister. And so if Cipher can kind of weaponize her longing to save her sister, he can use her in that way. And so at this point, like I said, I don't think it could be anyone else that we've seen so far other than Marie.
So in this particular episode, we definitively learn that Annabeth, Marie's sister, has powers, the power of precognition. How do we suppose that particular power will play some impact in the upcoming episodes, Elia?
So this is like bringing me back to my charm days. Oh my god.
All right, Phoebe.
Yes. Come on. So if in some way, shape, or form, Marie's sister Annabeth is a seer of sorts, this definitely can be used as a weapon, seeing as though she can kind of have a heads up on what is going on, when it as it pertains to Homelander or Vought or whatever it may be, to kind of warn them about which direction or kind of what hand they should play in trying to defeat them ultimately or whatever. So I think having a seer or precognition at your fingertips is an amazing bargaining chip, I guess you can have as it pertains to this. So yeah, I'm here for it.
All right. Chad, next question. So at one point, Jordan is looking at Marie and she is realizing that there's a possibility that Marie is stronger than Homelander. All right. So what really is Jordan thinking in that particular moment? Can you recall what you were assuming Jordan was thinking?
In that moment, I thought Jordan was afraid. Like, I think Jordan has gradually become more and more afraid of Marie as these episodes have progressed. Like, having her physically stop him or them, I think that freaked him out. But then actually hearing all this and putting all this together, like the reaction that they gave in that moment was, it looked like uneasiness to me. And to me, that seems, I'm afraid of you and what you can do. Even though there's been no evidence that she's going to do anything to them, quite the contrary. It's just the fact that if she's in this higher weight category, it's that unknown of, well, not the unknown.
Are you going to become as sick as Homelander?
Yeah. We see what absolute power does to this asshole. What will it do to you? And I'm already pretty sure you can take me down. So I'm just afraid, and I think that's Jordan's main thing, and will be the main thing going forward. Jordan's afraid of Marie.
So Jordan, they, them, their, whatever. You have decided to bed this young lady who is already 1 foot in, 1 foot out, confused, adolescent, superhero, godlike level, and you decided to have sex with her. Okay, that's a whole nother set of issues. And so now I done dipped my wick and put my little orange slice on it, and now there's a whole lot going on. So now I'm scared, I'm confused, I'm worried for you. There are a lot of things. You just sitting on all of this power. And so I don't know if you're going to become a psychopath, because at this point, despite everything that Cipher has done, Marie seems to still have some type of adoration for Cipher. And at least that's what I'm picking up on. So it's not completely, I feel like, screw you all together, Cipher. I'm still seeing some of I'm intrigued. And so I am. That is what I'm seeing. So I think that Jordan is concerned. Jordan is terrified for all the things that have been put into play. And so
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I just wanted to ask this simple question. And I'm really thinking about the last episode, because you were like, Emma's your girl. Will Sam and Emma get back together?
First of all, Sam crazy as hell. I don't know. So how Sam showed up in this past episode, it's a maybe. It is a maybe. I don't know. I can't tell, because Emma got other suitors lining up. And so I might have someone, I don't have to deal with all that crazy, but just a little hint, a little tinge of crazy, and you fine, and someone else, I might be okay with being good on you, Sam. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They put that little spark there, but again, Sam crazy. Sam's crazy as hell. Sam himself said, "I will see him Muppets this very episode." If you got the choice between the Superman that can like actually rip you apart and sees dancing Muppets, or this dude, I don't know what his powers is, but he cool and he's sane, like sane. And Emma has seen some shit now, so I think she would like to go with sane. I'm saying that. I would like to think she would go with sane. However, again, these kids just drive me nuts because they don't make good decisions. So all that said, yeah, she probably gonna go with Sam because that's the worst thing she could do.
Well, let me say this. So the best part of season 1, season 2 so far has been the moment when Emma and Sam were having sex and she became a puppet. And I'm all for the foolery. I love it. And by the way, Emma is just funny. Her one-lines, like when they were in the van and Annabeth was tripping out about going to Canada, she was like, wait. We're not going to a foreign country. We're going to Canada.
Yeah, you told me that. We're not going to a foreign country.
Like, she's funny. She's absolutely funny. And his crazy, her funny, his crazy. I love it. All right, next question. Why did Kate follow Marie? Let's go with Elia first.
Oh, my dear. Backstabbing, duplicitous, ain't to be trusted as fucking Kate. Whew. All right, so Kate follows Marie simply because she thinks that Marie can heal her. After seeing the resurrection powers that she has, she thinks that Marie can fix her brain. All right, and then so she gonna go ahead and slides it in there like, hey, if you fix my brain, then I can help you. You know, so it's a little quid pro quo that she slid in there, which is why everybody feel like, fuck you, Kate. Had you just led with, hey, I just want to help, or had you not done so much, I might believe that maybe you just want to help me. But no, it's a quid pro quo pro. If you fix my brain, you know, then I can help you, but I'm already knowing it's not just for me. This is for you. So at any rate, putting it mildly, fix my brain and I can help you fight. Is what Kate wants.
Bear of Mint.
Hi. I think Kate is in it for herself. I think Little Wiggles, Little Wiggles, she thinks that she can somehow benefit. And I don't think it's fair, and I just wouldn't trust her because I know that what happened to her was her own fault, but I think that might be the reason she might be wrong in this situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it was your fault, again, thinking you know better. I think just taking their memories away and getting with Cipher's plan, just thinking you know better. And just, I can probably help. You couldn't touch him before they blew the little hand off. He wouldn't let you. So why you think you're going to be of some type of assistance now? Little Wiggle?
Okay.
All right, so watching the episode, I thought she was being altruistic and actually with a tinge of wanting revenge to get back at Cipher in some form or fashion. However, after listening to y'all, you know what? It don't take much for me to hate Kate, so y'all have completely flipped me. The bitch just want an arm back. I'm cool with that.
Little Wiggle.
That's actually quite funny, Little Wiggles. So I agree with you all. I agree that Kate really just wants her powers back. But let's face it. There's really nothing fantastic about Kate other than okay, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. There's like nothing about her that just kind of stands out. However, what she dangled in front of Marie made a whole lot of sense. It's like, hey, it's very possible that I can help you, and you and I both know what you're about to do. We know what you're about to do. So why don't you help me so I can help you? Made sense to me. All right, next question. Why is Cipher tormenting Polarity? Let's go with Bearer of Men.
Apparently, because he don't know who he fucking with.
Say more.
Like, one, I think he thinks he's as weak as his son. And I think that episode kind of defined that he isn't. I know he wanted to use him because of his proximity to the kids to get him back for certain. But just the stuff that he says to him, I think he's really a sinister person and enjoys being an asshole. You ever meet people like that?
Every day.
Like, if he thinks that he's stronger than you and he can do you something, then he just gonna run off at the mouth. Like, he just gonna talk. You know, he gonna talk too much. And I think he realized it, and that's why he ran. Because he was like, oh, I ain't see it going like that. Like, let me find out he ain't too old for me to get in his head and make him mad and make him more powerful. Like, whoop, let me not find out. Like, it seemed like that's what he was doing.
Yeah, Cipher just, I mean, when it comes all down to it, he's just a big ass bully. He likes picking on people that can't do shit, that can't do anything else against him. He knows that most people can't do anything else against him, so he's just a straight up asshole. So when somebody pushed back and he ain't see that coming, his ass went ghost. That's what bullies do. So I think he was after him. He went to Polarity because he wanted the kids. But he thought that, like everybody else, he could just run over him like he does everybody else. And he was doing it. And then once he pushed back and he threw his ass out the window, he was like, oh, my bad. I wasn't familiar with your game. I'm out. And he just ghosts. So it shows that he does have, there are people that can withstand his limits, which can be useful as we go along. And I think he'll tread lightly with Polarity from now on. I would imagine he's going to just try to avoid him all around.
Hell yeah.
So I think that he really just figured after he used Polarity that he could pretty much wipe him off the chessboard. And that's not exactly what happened to you. And so he figured I could get into your head mentally using your child's death and do all of these things to beat you down and subdue you into submission and just kind of have my way with you. But that's not what happened. And I was so excited to see that it is not how it happened. And I showed up on your ass because you thought I was the one that you could spill on. But I got a lot more fight in me than that. And so I appreciated that whole display on screen. Just cinematic, just absolute chef's kiss in this case, because who you playing with? Okay. And I love that. So yes, I really just think he figured that Polarity was weak. He was grief stricken on top of the condition that he has. So you literally just saw him as a pawn. And that's not what happened in the end. So I loved it.
So I'm sorry, Berriman.
I want to say that, and as a parent, you have to know the type of anger he was feeling in that moment, especially as you consistently and continuously bring up my child.
Mm-hmm.
I will kill myself trying to kill you. Behind my child. And he a black man, I will rip my body into a million pieces if it means I got to get even just a lick off of it. You've seen people in court cases where they like the Incredible Hulk, get past all them guards, jump like a cheetah over tables and chairs and knock, killers that kill their child or rape their child. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I will die trying to get you. Get locked up, all that. And I just thought that was good, like superhero blast. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's still the same message. Still the same message.
So we kind of talked about it last episode, but I really love this particular line. He, meaning Cipher, told his father, he said, what did he say exactly? He said, "You vomit pink little dumpster baby." I love that line. I love that line so much. What is really going on between Cipher and his dad? I know we talked about it a little bit earlier in this particular show, but I want us to really dive in. Pink little dumpster baby. Chad, what's going on?
All right. So if we continue with the theory that we had last time, which is that the pink dumpster baby is actually Godolkin, who is controlling whatever the hell Cipher is, like whoever this person is that Cipher is, then it looks like the relationship that the person that Cipher is with the dumpster baby is just like, it's making sure the body stays alive. Like, he's doing like, it's like those exercises people do when somebody's like in a coma, just to make sure like their muscles don't atrophy and all that kind of stuff. And he's keeping them in that chamber. I'm assuming he's feeding them and all this other stuff. It's just basically, it seems like it's to keep the body alive. And if that is actually Godolkin controlling this man, I would imagine it's because even though he can control him, he can't like exchange his consciousness. So his body has to stay alive for him to still do these things. So if we're going with our theory from last week, I think that's what that is. Keep the body alive, as like disgusting as it might have to be sometimes. And he can continue to do what he wants in this other body living around. But that doesn't mean the dude is clearly fucked up. So he's got some frustration. I get he's taking it out on himself. It's a form of masturbation, if you will, because you're beating up on yourself.
But that's in a good way.
Pleasure? Is that pleasure?
I mean, to some people it might be. It is not my cup of tea, but there are some people out there that like that kind of stuff. So I'm just throwing it out there because this is the world of the boys, and this is this kind of stupid shit they do. So that's is that plan. If it's actually like Godolkin is the body, and like this is just like his caretaker that's executing his plan to get Marie, then that dude just like, I'm sick of you sometimes, and just beats his ass. I think that's how that goes.
Hell yeah.
This is the most sadistic, unhealthy relationship that I've seen on screen in a while. It's so abusive. But, it seems like you get off on it. And so watching it play out is just like, the having sex in front of the body or whatever, doing all the things. It's like just abuse. Or even how he, being Cipher, interacts with the Genviers or literally anyone else he comes into contact with. Is just all abuse, right? And so it's just like this sick, just sadist kind of relationship with everyone. So it doesn't surprise me that that's the nature of the relationship with the body or Godolkin or whomever it may be. It's just very weird, very odd. But if I'm just to be honest, like literally, that's the relationship you have with everyone. It's very, very abusive, and I get off on it in general.
Very men.
That was a good point. I didn't think that he just gets off on being mean. But I guess that is what sinister people do. I was wanting to say, did your girl lobotomize herself before she slept with him, with Cipher?
We didn't see her do it. Like sister said, yeah, no.
I don't think she did. That was one. Because y'all brought up the fact that they were, they slept together in front of him. But I think that, but that's what keeps making me think it's the dad because, and that something happened where he was like, oh, now I got it. It reminds me of how a person who grew up hating a parent would treat the parent if the parent was now dependent on the child. Like, bad as hell. Like, I know that we think that, you know, everyone rises above the parent and does the right thing. No, some people be out here beating the hell out their parents whenever they get to. You know what I'm saying? They get totally abused. You know what I mean?
Nothing needs a home receipt in my home. Total control.
You coming home with me? I'm gonna show you how you used to do me. I'm gonna show you. Oh yeah. To me, that's how it comes out. Like you had that kind of hate rage. Like, was he the terrible dad? And now you had to take care of him. And you always
want to know.
Like, because that kind of hate is crazy.
Yeah.
He's beating up a puke dude.
So, Mayfair to 10. Hell yeah.
For me, this episode was a 9. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. There was a lot happening in all the best ways. So from Mayfair to 10, this episode's about a 9 for me.
Chad?
I agree with a 9. I think it's the best we've gotten so far. It's progressed the story, it's given us more things to think about. It brought back Edgar, who's always good to see. So I will give it a 9, even though those kids piss me off again because they do dumb shit.
I
actually give it a 10. A lot of my theories came to life. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Come on, 10-inch.
Yeah.
Strong 10. Let's go.
All right. I'll give it an 8.
The last one got a higher rating from you than an 8, huh? Or was it an 8?
I give it an 8. So having Stan back, that was a master. I think there was like a big question at the end of The Boys. I think it was last season, or towards the end of last season. We didn't know whether or not Stan was alive or what. We just knew that we couldn't find him. We didn't know if he was hurt. We didn't know anything. Having him back in Gen V was totally unexpected. So that was good. That was great. And yes, to Chad's point, he furthered the storyline. And that was good, right? Helped to connect some dots that they were kind of unclear about. That was really, really good. I think what I was missing, I would have loved to have seen more of the Cipher polarity connection. Yes, we got to saw that polarity can withstand Cipher. But how far does that go? We saw that polarity was weak. What would it look like if polarity was at his full strength trying to withstand Cipher? Would that happen? Would that occur? Or was it the fact that he was in this mental state already behind the death of his son and knowing that Cipher has something to do with it? Did that have something to do with his increased ability? Like all of those questions, like I'm left with more questions, and because I'm left with more questions, I'm kind of like, ugh! Give me more. That's why I say 8.
Still a high rating from you.
Yeah. All right. Was there anything that we missed that you all want to talk about, discuss?
The daughter.
Oh, let's talk about it. What about her?
Really taken to the grandparent. And I think that she's having a good effect on your girl's sister. But I really think that she's not just turning into a monster. Maybe she'll prove that your boy is not a monster. And that the whole time he had been, what's the man they brought back? Maybe they'll determine she'll show that he's not a monster. But it certainly feels like it right, given how he was on the boys. But I am glad to see him back in general because he's a good character.
Anyone else?
Just looking forward to the next episode. I have been enjoying season 2.
Okay. Until next time, thank you all so very much for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share on all your social media. See you all.